Hello, dear students. Welcome to the Bajirao IAS Academy. Today is 4th January, and we are going to discuss the daily Hindu newspaper analysis. So, in today's session, there are very important articles which was published, and there is a discussion about two burning issue. The first issue will be your hit and run case. What is this hit and run case and why there is all India protest by the truck drivers? We will be analyzing completely, and here this topic will be completed by itself today. Then further, we will move towards the second article where we will try to analyze, discuss the ULFA agreement between the Assam based organization and the Ministry of Home Affairs. So, what is this ULFA and how it can bring peace and stability to the northeast, to the Assam? We are going to analyze it in a great detail. So, be with us, and if you are new to our channel, kindly like, share, as well as subscribe. So, let's start with our sort of discussion. The first article is related to GS paper 2. So we all know that from 1st January 2024 there was all India protest by the truck drivers and the truck association. So why this protest was happening? The reason is simple. The new provisions towards the hit and run case. So what is hit and run case? We all are going to understand. So suppose this is road and this is a truck, and let's say a person is crossing this road, and suppose this truck hit that person and that person suddenly dies. So what is that case? This is the case of hit and run, because the truck hit that person and then run away. So that becomes the case of hit and run. So definitely there is a provision of punishment in this type of scenario. But why this protest is happening? Because the punishment has been increased in the new provision. So that's why all India protest is happening, and we all are going to understand about the new provision, the detailed new provision. Okay. So first of all, come to the background that this hit and run case has been mentioned under the provision of Indian Penal Code, which has been replaced by Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita Bill 2023. Okay, so in this Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita Bill that is going to be implemented from this year onwards, there is a separate provision of hit and run case, and apart from that, there is a increased punishment and fine as well. So these truck drivers were saying that the increment is fine is such huge that they will not be able to afford that fine. And if they were so rich, why they will do driving? So that was their argument. And apart from that, there are many points said by these association and the truck driver. Okay, so we all are going to understand in much more elaborate manner, and this can be a potential question for your mains examination, because transportation including road infrastructure, these all are the important syllabus for your mains examination. So first of all, let's understand with an important data so that you should have a better understanding. So when we talk about total road accidents in India in 2022, so there was about 1,65,121 total road accidents. This was reported, and when we talk about unreported, there is no idea. Okay, and within this road accident, the hit and run case are 24,309. That is 14.6% of total road accidents. And within that, the fatalities, that is the death cause in the hit and run case, is about 13,5600. Okay, 13,056. Okay, that is 18.1% of the total road death. So you are observing that road accident is very critical issue, and it also cause loss of person, loss of assets, and apart from that the social emotions and the family emotions attached to the person who was killed. So these are bigger issue. Hence government wanted to create awareness among the truck drivers, and apart from that there should be the increased compensation. These all are the provisions in the new hit and run case provision. So this was the objective. Further we will be discussing the objective of the government, but let's come to understand what was the change done from the old provisions to the new provisions. So the new provisions are mentioned in Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, and what we call Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Indian Penal Code, because IPC will be replaced by Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Earlier it was called as IPC. So when we talk about old provision, so there was no dedicated clause mentioned as hit and run case. Okay, so that matter was dealt under section 304A of the IPC. But now there is a specific clause of hit and run case under section 106 clause 2 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Okay, now understand clearly that in the old provision, maximum jail term in terms of the victim dies, there will be the maximum jail term of 2 years, but in this new provision it has been increased to 10 years if the person dies. And let's say if the person dies but the truck driver or the vehicle driver do not flee from the scene, so the punishment will be reduced to 7 years. Maybe the driver will surrender to the nearest police station, or maybe the driver can take the victim to the hospitals for the treatment. Okay, so in this scenario there is reduced punishment and reduced fine. But when it comes to the fine, let's see, earlier it was up to 2000 fine if death caused, but now it has been increased to 7 lakh. Okay, it these all are maximum punishment. Okay, these all are maximum punishment, but this can depend on case to case basis decided by the court and the judge. So kindly understand this thing. Okay, so this is the main scenario, hope you understood, and that's why this high punishment in terms of jail term or the fine are becoming the factor for the protest by the truck drivers. Okay, and when we talk about the vehicle impoundment, so there was no mentioning in the old provision, but in the new provision there is a possible scenario that the vehicle can be seized or confiscated. Okay, so here the focus of the old provision was like giving punishment for causing death due to the rash or the negligent driving, like drunken driving. Okay, so here negligency was there, and for that punishment was there. But here in the new provision, the objective is to increase the accountability as well as responsibility of the driver so that they can drive safely and there should be no accidents or the death due to this driving. So that is the main thing. Hope you understood in great detail. Now we are trying to understand why the truck drivers are raising their concern. First of all, the amount and the jail term is very high. We have already discussed maximum punishment will be 10 years if there is a death of the victim, and there can be the fine of 7 lakh. So these peoples are very poor. This is that if they were capable to pay such hefty amount, why they will be driving the truck? So that was their main point. And apart from that we see that many a times people do not follow the traffic rules. Okay, they mistake the signals. Okay, they do not follow the traffic signals, and apart from that, wrong crossings, and also people drives in the wrong way. So these all are concerns. So many times the truck drivers do not have the fault, the drivers do not have the fault, but the person have the fault. So in that scenario, who will be responsible? Because the police or the authority will be blaming the drivers that you are responsible, but maybe the person who was killed, they may be responsible. So that is one thing. And there is implementation hurdle in the sense, like we have the older provisions that talks about jail punishment and fines. Okay, but it comes to the implementation, there is lacuna, like the authority are involved in the corruption, so no strict punishment is done, because they takes the bribe and they leave the person or the drivers. Okay, so this do not create the awareness. So even the new provision gets implemented, so whether increased punishment or not, the implementation hurdle may be there. That is one thing. And apart from that, poor road conditions. Maybe in the urban area or the town, the road infrastructure is good. But when it comes to the rural area or the remote area, the road infrastructure may be bad. There can be hollows, there can be depression, there can be the more slippery road infrastructure. So this can also cause the road accidents, and for that, who will be responsible here? So this is one another scenario. Then the drivers fear of mob lynching. Mob lynching means the mob or the group of peoples with suspicion, they try to beat the people, they try to kill that person. Okay, so that's why the drivers wants to flee away from the scene. Okay, the driver says that if we do not flee away, so the people will kill them. So that is one scene. That's why drivers flee away. Then, with the passage of the new provisions, okay, that increase the punishment and many more things, the stakeholders were not concerned. And apart from that, you know that in the parliament there is less debate and discussions, because there is like ad hoc termination of the session. Sometimes we see because of the request we see in the parliament. Okay, so there is no proper debate and discussions in the parliament. And apart from that, the stakeholders like All India Motor Association, these were not consulted properly and laws were made. So there should be like proper consultation. So these all are the concerns which was raised by these truck drivers and the association. Hence all India protest was organized from January 1. Okay, but what is the current status? We will be understanding. But let's find some of the government arguments. Government says that if this new provisions get implemented, this will ensure responsible driving, because the increased punishment will help to create fear among the drivers, and it will create responsible driving. And apart from that, it can help in more reporting of the case. Why? Because there is a provision of less punishment if a person surrender to the police station or they help to the victims. So that is one scenario. And there is a provision of quick compensation as well, so that the victim's family, they can get money to survive their family, because maybe the person can be the breadwinner. Okay, and there can be the responsible caring of the victims as well. It can promote, because there is a less punishment if the victims are cared by the drivers. Okay, and apart from that, what we are seeing that with the increasing trend of urbanization, there is increased number of vehicles. People are purchasing more and more bikes, four wheelers, three wheelers. Okay, and this is also leading to increased road accident. And you also know that because of lax rules and regulations in issuing the license of the drivers, this also aids in the road accident. So hope you understood all the concern. But when we talk about some of the important suggestions, so this article says that apart from raising fines or terms or the jail terms, the government should focus on comprehensive accident prevention policy, so that the accident prevention should be the priority. Otherwise we have series of huge fines and jail terms as a punishment for different crimes, but this do not reduces the crime at all. So we need to have a comprehensive accident prevention policy where we should consult the stakeholders as well. We should have a detailed expert suggestions. Okay. And also what should be the post accident scenario, and what should be the responsibility of each stakeholder needs to be taken care of. Okay. Like here we can talk about road infrastructure improvement. Okay. Apart from that, there should be the strict monitoring of the license issue of the drivers, because we know there is engaged corruptions and bribery in issuing the license as well. So this also adds burden to the road accidents in India. So the current scenario is the government has promised to bring it into play or to bring it into implementation only after the consultation with the truck associations or the truck driver association, that is All India Motor Transport Congress. Hope you understood this article in great detail. Okay, now we will be ending this session. So hope you enjoyed. Thank you.